Welcome to Bleav in 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav in 76ers is presented by betonline.ag.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the year. It's football season, and you know what that means? It means it's time to get in on BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our 150 slot games. Head to the website today and get in on the action. BetOnline. The game starts here. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav in 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here, legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow, and my brother, Teja Dash. Guys, so game one, start off all right, and then kind of trailed off there a little bit. We just didn't have the premier talent to stay within that game, but Sixers lost to the Bucks 124-109, the season opener. But, lots of love in that game, and we'll get into that in this episode. But, it's another year and another NBA investigation on the 76ers. It seems like every year it's just like there's another investigation on the Sixers. And Eric and I, we talked about it last episode about the Embiid, being ruled out for this first game, being mysterious with this whole thing. But, everyone's kind of talking about this. Charles Barkley's made some comments about it, about how Embiid's not playing, how it's not a good look for the league, not a good look for the Sixers. And in the league, they're investigating the NBA probe into why Embiid is missing this first week of the season. So just want to ask you guys right away, do you think the NBA has a valid gripe in this investigation of the 76ers and this whole player participation of Joel Embiid?
Well, I think it's clear because none of us know why he's out. So they haven't said anything. Everything that they've basically said has been about him ramping up, him missing back-to-backs, and him not missing the start of the season. Like, we don't know anything else. So whether an investigation will come up with something that will, cause a fine, I don't know. But it's just, like I said the last episode, it's the unknown. Like, it's the unknown. So you're saying you're revving him up to play in the third or fourth game, or maybe the fifth, but you couldn't push that up a week to play now. Like, we don't know why. So is he injured? Is he not injured? Is he just, if he hasn't, why haven't you been playing the 5-on-5 beforehand? Like, I wanna defend the Sixers, and I'm on their side 99% of the time. But I see if anybody look at this and say it's fishy, I understand why.
Yeah. So there's a couple ways to look at it, and I think you cover both of those sides too, right? So if you're the league looking at it like an employer would look at it, there's a guy who can't go to work for the foreseeable future, but he was able to travel to France to do the same job for free on national television. If you're an employer, you're like, wait a minute, you're not ready, but you already played, competed at a high level 2 months ago, but now you can't play for our league. It's weird. It definitely begs a few questions. As Embiid's employer in the Sixers, they could care less about all of that. They could care less about a game in October. They want to win games in May and June. And so if they have to take a fine in order to make 100% sure that Embiid is good, healthy, and highly effective for the long haul, then they'll do that. Right? Because look how much money they just invested in him. 3 years, $193 million. Do you think they care about $100,000 fine in order to protect that investment? That's like saying like you invested like $1 million, but like in order to take that investment, you had to spend like a $10 processing fee. I don't think that's going to matter as much, right? So I see it from both sides of it. They're just like, look, we'll take the bumps and bruises for whatever the NBA finds. I don't care. We have an investment. We have a player who we just don't feel is ready to play at the level we want him to play at yet. And that's it, right?
Yeah, but I understand that side of it too. But that brings the question, why isn't he ready? That's what we haven't been told. Why is he not ready? So what is the difference between this week and next week? Like, what's the difference? If you're saying we're going to protect our investment, you protecting your investment by him missing 2 or 3 games? Is that really a big difference?
Yeah. That's a great question.
So if that's where I'm confused. So if you're coming out and you're saying, hey, he's going to miss a month, then I'm like, okay, something's up. But you also got to kind of be a little more clear if you say that with why. But you don't have to really say a why. We're ramping things up. What was it last 2 months for? At no time during those 2 months did you want to ramp up, and everybody knew the season started October 23rd? I'm confused. The beginning of the season is kind of the most anticipated time for players. You have different parts of the season when the players first get the schedule. The first thing they look at is who will get the first game. The first game is what they look at. That's what you get excited about. So for the league to put the Sixers on national television, first game of the year at home against a team that has had a better record than them the last couple years, and you just be like, we're ramping things up. And we surprised that they're investigating?
I'm not surprised.
I don't understand that logic. But
on top of that,
and then also I'm just saying, also to your point is like they made an investment to him, yes, but they also made a promise to the people that support them.
You're right.
They would do the best that they can to try to put the team in the best position to be successful. Yes. And him not playing, as we can see in game 1, does not do that.
And the best product on the floor.
Yes.
So it's a product that people are paying
It's
for.
2 sides to look at it. So I think you get a pass if this is a short-term thing. But the longer this carry out, and then all of a sudden, hopefully you knock on wood, you don't get anything else, and then you in December and he's missing games in each month, and we haven't even got to the back-to-backs yet. So then you're going to change your mind, and all of a sudden he's missed so many games and now you got to play him in back-to-backs? Then what was that all about there? Like, it just really, really gets the season off on a sour note. Like just got to be real. It just gives the season gives up to a sour note. 1, you lose a game, and you lose a game convincingly, and then 2, you go into a Toronto, right? Then Indiana, correct?
Yep.
So a Toronto game that you would probably would have been heavily favored in, a Pacers game that could go either way. Now you're based on the last performance, we can't go into any game and feel really good about it, to be honest with you. Not right now. And this is another note. I thought something was kind of wrong with Caleb Martin too. I thought he was kind of dragging his leg. If you notice it, like when he went out, his last few possessions before he went out, just kind of go back and look at it. It was really interesting. So I don't know if it's that particular game or that particular time.
He has a calf injury.
I don't know, but it was something. It was something. You can see it clearly at the end of the game. Just watch the last few clips or plays for him, and you can see that something was bothering him. But he was out there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to say. Like I to say that they're doing it like you don't even know. Like if you listen to Nurse talk, they're saying this is the plan for Joel, and they're executing the plan, and it's the ramp up. And I understand all of that, but why was the plan ever to miss the beginning of the season? Why was that ever the plan? That's where the lack of transparency is showing up.
And as a consumer,
because missing preseason is one thing. Missing preseason is one thing, but now you're missing the beginning of the season. That's another thing. That's like missing preseason. You kind of like, yeah, it's kind of a wash. A lot of guys don't really play in the preseason. But you go and all of a sudden you miss the regular season. You look at the Clippers, for instance, and Kawhi Leonard's out. They come out. He's out indefinitely. He's not going to play. We're indefinite, and they say indefinite, so you won't ask any questions on when he's coming back. We'll let you know. Where with us, he'll miss the first week. Well, the first week is now turned into the next week. If I remember right, Sunday is next week.
Yep.
So he's out the road trip, right? Correct? So, but you tell me how you tell me how long he's out, but you don't tell me when he's coming back. I just want to hear when you're coming back. You say he's out the road trip. Does that mean he's going to play? Does that mean he's going to play when we come home? Or no?
I think they're traveling too, right?
Yeah, they're both going with the team. Paul George and Andy are going to be traveling, yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Well, for what? I mean, you get used to riding on the plane. I don't understand. Like, if you're ramping up, I mean, I guess you can play with the guys in your practice day and with the guys that don't play very much. I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense. And you can play part of your ramp up program with the guys that aren't playing high minutes. What else? Why else would you go on the road?
I was going to say too. So we talked about the team aspect. We talked about the NBA point of view, even the player point of view. Consumer point of view is even more rough. Consumer point of view is like going to a restaurant known for its steak and like them booking the place up, and then like they just don't have the steak that night. And like, say it again, Eric.
No, I was actually yelling at my son for bouncing the ball upstairs.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So no school today. It's Nevada Day. Whatever that. I didn't know what that was till I came here. So, but
yeah, could you imagine how I'm mad?
I don't know. I mean, I see what you mean. Yeah, I think most fans are disappointed. I don't think it's to a point where they are ready to rail against the Sixers. No, because it's still early in the season and they haven't shown that this is going to be a longevity thing. So it hasn't shown that. But based on how they handle it and when he comes back, that could change. But I don't think that's the case right now. But I do think that if this goes on, it's going to be an issue with someone. I'm not sure who will get the heat more, but it's going to be an issue.
Yeah. What did you guys make of Barkley's comments? I know Barkley's comments are more so about the back-to-backs. He didn't like the fact that he already said he's not going to play back-to-backs to start the season off. The quote was, "I want to get this number right because this is crazy. And bless the kid, number one, just signed on for 3 years, $193 million to play basketball. We're not steel workers. We're not nurses. People who got like real jobs who work 40 to 50 hours a week. We're playing basketball at the most 4 days a week." And that's kind of been something that's been everyone's been talking about. But I got to say, Barkley's also been one of the people that does dog Embiid for not being healthy when it does come around to the playoffs. Because we're just talking about the back-to-back, not the first week of the season. I feel like some people, are just you can't have it both ways. You can't knock the guy for not playing in the playoffs or not being healthy in the playoffs, then also knocking him for not playing, back-to-back for the main reason to be healthy in June.
Well, I mean, first off, Charles is always outspoken in his opinions about subjects. I don't really like how when they compare NBA jobs to everybody else's job. Like, everybody knows it's different. I mean, guys are getting paid because the money is being made. So it's not like you're just giving them something. I mean, they're making it because they have a skill set that very few people have. And the money's being made because the money, like I said, they get the money because the league makes the money. So it's not like you're just paying them, and just because. So I don't really like the comparison to someone else's job. So that's one thing. I got to kind of eliminate that part of it. I like I said, I don't really question the commitment that the Sixers kind of gave him, because it seems like they're a part of this. It doesn't seem like it's just a Joel thing. It seemed like it's a Sixers and Joel thing.
Yes.
So
it might even be more of a Sixers thing than a Joel thing.
They're presenting it that way, but we don't know. But I Bleav is both sides are in agreement of how this is being handled. So at the end of the day, as far as the back-to-backs, I say I'm on the record saying I don't know why you make that announcement now. I'm on the record saying you just kind of let the season go and you kind of make the announcement as it's happening. There was really no need to make that announcement at the beginning of the season, and he hasn't played a game, and now he's not playing. So you only lead people to think that it's something wrong with you, or more wrong with you than you're putting out. So I just didn't think it was necessary to say it right now, because it's a topic of conversation, and they haven't had a back-to-back, but people are talking about it. So the Sixers and Joel brought that on themselves.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, guys, it'll always be about his availability in the playoffs, because that's what it has been. That's what his career has been. So that's always going to be a topic of conversation. But at the end of the day, the way it's being handled now, and the way the Sixers are handling it, the way Joel was handling it, and the way it's been in the past, everything is going to come down to how the playoffs go. So their success, his availability is all going to be in play. And that's what it's going to be about. So if you're saying we're holding him out, all you're doing is building up the expectations of what they're supposed to do in the playoffs. You hold him out, then we can't be talking about first round exit. You hold him out, we can't be talking about second round exit. So it's all going to come into fruition of we want to see something done. So if you're doing this, then let's get some kind of benefit on the back end.
Well, they're making changes instead of.
And I think that's why I think some of the real heat will come later. If the team isn't really having success during the year, or the team doesn't have success during the playoffs, that's when I think the real heat will come. I don't think the real heat will come early in the season because he's missing games. Yes.
Yeah, it'll be like extra heat from this time. Yeah.
Yes, much more heat. Yes.
But right now the fans are like,
because Philly's Philly. Like, you lose, they always gonna support you, no matter what. But they always gonna be hard on you, and they always gonna get on you. But I can see this being extra, extra hard. If things don't go the way the expectations are, and I think it just lifts the expectations by you coming with a plan saying we're holding them out.
Yeah. I think all the anger, I think the anger is here for what's happening right now. I don't think they're fully expressing it because, it's a plan. It's to win games in May and June. Okay. But if that doesn't happen, you're going to get all the anger that started now, and it's all going to be unraveled then. It's going to be a giant avalanche of all of it. Look, all that stuff I wasn't mad about early in the season, I'm a quadruple mad about it now because all that was for this terrible output at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, it'll all be forgiven, if we just pay off with interest later on in the year. So, yeah. But Stephen A. had a good retort to Barkley. Stephen A. said, after all the years that he's been battling these injuries, we've seen this guy get hurt from head to toe. Like, after all the years, like, you're going to question, like, the plan now, like, of all times. Like, now you're going to say, like, he shouldn't be missing games after we've tried it. We have tried it. We every year we've hoped, right? We've tried to play him as much as possible and just hoped. Maybe it was just bad luck at the end of the year. He got, hurt in playoffs. Maybe it was just bad luck. Well, let's just play. At least now we're actually trying to make a plan to make him healthier. If it still doesn't work, it still doesn't work. But they're trying something different at least this year, right? Like, I can respect that. And again, that's why people aren't.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I understand what Stephen is saying, but it's hard for me to understand how that can be to start the season, unless something is wrong with you that you're not articulating. And that's what I'm saying, because the unknown, you haven't come. He's not on the injury report, correct? And they didn't say he had any kind of procedure. So what is it that, and you're just telling me just ramping him up to start the season, like late? I don't understand. It's been everybody else that played in the Olympics are all playing.
They also said he had no setbacks from the Olympics too.
So what is, like, that's the part that I cannot understand. I cannot understand that.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I just don't know how you can just miss the season. You can start the season, then start pulling him out of games. I understand that, but to start the season from a play, and this part is from a player's perspective. I don't know how you can start the season and be like, no, I'm gonna sit out. If you're healthy, I don't know how you can do that. I would feel like I'm cheating my teammates. I would feel like that. I don't know how anybody else would. But if I'm healthy enough to play and to go out there and watch them get beat by 20 in the game, and I'm healthy enough to play, that don't sit well with me, because it's a part of the plan. So what plan are we talking about? Is the ultimate plan to win a championship, get the best seat we can get, try to get home court advantage? Is that not part of the plan? Sure. So if we think sitting out games and getting another 6 or 7 seed and thinking we're going to go to New York or somewhere and win and losing the first round, how was that the plan? We just saw what the 6 seed did last season. So I'm confused very much.
Yeah. We're hoping it all changes with a healthy Embiid.
Yeah, maybe they think, 6 seed, but with the Embiid with 2 legs instead of one leg, maybe they can advance. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we shall see if it lasts longer than this 1 week that they're saying. So I think I read somewhere online there's a chance October 30th could be the first game where we see both the guys together. So that would be next week, next Wednesday. So a week from Wednesday, from the first game. All right. It would
be a bad look if Paul George got injured like a week ago and he came back before Embiid came back and there is no injury to Embiid. That also would not look great, right? Like, he just turned his knee inside out, and he might come back sooner than the guy who apparently isn't injured and had no setbacks.
It ruled him out for the weekend already, Paul George, and he's going to get reevaluated.
Yeah.
All right.
So when is so after the Pacer game, when's the next?
I think it's October 30th. Let me see.
Is the 30th the next game?
Yes, the next game will be October 30th on Wednesday at home against Detroit.
Oh, okay. I read somebody sent me something. It's like, oh, they just trying to come back against Detroit. I get it now. Oh man, it's funnier now that I kind of put it together, but I didn't know what they were talking about initially.
They want to slowly ease into the season. The first game going against Detroit, so they ease into the season.
And we have a West Coast road trip coming.
Yeah,
we go to Phoenix, LA already.
So Paul George's homecoming.
That's right. He's definitely going to play in that one.
Is it that early?
Yeah, that comes on the 4th. So
I'm supposed to be going to those games.
30th grade. I know. It's really early.
I was supposed to be going to the LA games. I got to check that out.
I wasn't ready for that.
All right. Look at those dates.
Yeah.
So obviously we kind of hit it. We talked about the loss on Wednesday, but Eric and I both had the Sixers winning that game. I don't know, it was more we just thought we were going to come out at the home opener and have the spirit of the win. It was mostly betting with our heart on our last show. But were you guys surprised about the outcome of the game on Wednesday night? What did you like? What kind of adjustments do you want to see going forward from what you saw Wednesday as we go forward in the season? What kind of adjustments do you want to see?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think first off, I do like Maxey's aggressiveness. Obviously, he's a better shooter than the percentage that he shot the first game. But he and Kelly had 46 points on 47 shots. And that's including free throws. It's going to be hard to win games if those two guys. And those are the two guys that I said would have to step up with Paul and Joel out. So that percentage will have to get better, obviously. Maxey's going to start getting the crowd. Team's going to start doubling him a little more. So making the right decisions out of that when that happens, and then stepping up and making more catch and shoot threes or catch and shoot shots that will be coming when they do that. Obviously, the size hurt us, especially when the Bucks went on that run. Offensive rebounding and post ups. Portis was going to the rim and getting advantages posting up, and Joel had advantages. So that's going to have to be addressed. I mean, Drummond can't get every rebound. I mean, I think he finished with 13, but at the beginning of the game, I thought he was going to be one of those 20 rebound games.
That's what it seemed like, yeah.
Then the Bucks then the Bucks start making more shots. But I just think, got to rebound better, got to protect the paint a little better. And like I said, I think that making shots is going to have to happen from the outside, because I think that Maxey is for taking 30-plus shots. Like, he's going to start seeing the crowd. He's going to start seeing traps, especially with those two guys out.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised by the game, to be honest. I mean, once they made the run to go to double digits, they pretty much held firm after that. Them being hot from three the way they were. I mean, the starters were 13 of 28 from three. It would have been nice to get one last run to get down to like 5 before they brought it back up to double digits again. But, I mean, I could say, we played hard, never gave up, but it just shows you how much more depth we have. Because I have a feeling like this time last year, that would have been like a 25 to 30-point loss, most likely. But it'd be nice to see guys not getting fouled. That's probably what held Drummond out of not getting any rebounds. So if he wasn't in foul trouble, he would have had a lot more. And, Toronto and Pacers have size, so we're going to need him to stay out of foul trouble and in the game. Maxey, some of that, he shot poorly, but some of that was just bad luck. He had a lot of open looks around the rim that just rimmed out. Hopefully get more calls. That hasn't changed since last year. Just get his teammates a little more involved. and just more passing from our team in general. Our starters had 5 assists. Compare that to the Bucs starters who had 22 assists. That's a big difference. Our starters,
that all starts. That all starts with Maxey. Like he wasn't trying to pass the ball.
Yeah,
he wasn't trying to pass the ball, and the guys that follow his lead, they played the same way. You got the ball, you were attacking, and you were trying to score.
Yeah. Well, because when he holds the ball so much and tries to score and get his own rhythm, he's not passing. And then the next guy who finally gets the ball is like, well, now I need to find my rhythm. So I'm going to force the issue and drive and try to find my shot now. So it's just like an epidemic on the team after that.
Yeah.
I mean, we had as many starter assists as they had on the bench. So rough. We need to just overall, he needs to set the tone, and then everyone else needs to follow suit, passing the ball, get everyone involved.
When do you think, Eric, when do you think Max will start to get that whistle? I know we talked about it last year that eventually it's going to come, but I mean, there was a lot of calls in that game that I thought should have been called, and that was kind of the Sixers Twitter was going nuts about it. When do you think he's going to get that whistle?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that some of it is you just have to go and take your best shot. I mean, some of it he comes off as flopping. So I think he has a sort of a thing with the referees that he's sort of flopping. But I think he needs to just kind of continue to take his best shots, initiate a little more contact, but just kind of play through it. I mean, I think it'll come, but he has a style that's sort of a flailing style when he attacks that guys that usually play like that, there'll be times where they don't really get calls. Because like I said, it looks like you're kind of trying to force the issue. But I think he'll have his games where he gets to the free throw line. But I do think that if he can make an adjustment, he can kind of, when he drives, maybe cut the defense off, play a little game with change of speed, fast to slow, slow to fast, kind of do some things differently to kind of put the defense in the predicament to where the contact and everything is more clear. And that comes with, some a little more experience, and then the referees getting used to him being that type of player. But I feel it's coming. But I wasn't the one that felt like the majority of the calls were missed. I thought it was kind of even. I didn't think it was like the majority of his calls were missed. So I didn't take it like that. I think it was just a carryover for some people from last season that feel that way. But I thought there were some calls that were missed, but I didn't leave that game saying he got a horrible whistle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully these guys take the adjustments going into this road trip this weekend. So now we're going to get to this road trip. We got game predictions. So tonight, Friday night, Sixers will be going to Toronto to take on the Raptors. Sixers swept them in the season series last year. I'm looking at the last. Sixers are on a 7-game win streak going back to 2022 against the Toronto Raptors. We're a 5-point favorite at Toronto. That's pretty big considering, we're without 2 of our guys. But who do you guys have in this one, and what are you looking for in this game against Toronto?
I'm looking for a win. Like, we can't go to Toronto and not win. So I don't even know Toronto's starting 5. I don't even know who starts for them. We shouldn't be losing to a team that I can't even name the starting 5. Can you name the starting 5?
Grady
I
Dick.
can name 1 or 2 guys.
Barnes, and that's it for me. Barnes and Grady Dick.
Yeah.
Who?
Barrett, you mean?
Who was the first guy you said?
Grady Dick, the dude from Kansas.
No, Barrett's out. Barrett's out.
Barrett's probably
he's
be
injured.
out. Barrett's out.
Oh, I said Dick.
I know Barnes.
The point guard from Barnes, the point guard, what's his name? The point guard from New York. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name.
Quickly
the starter.
He he went out with an injury the first game. Didn't he go out with an injury the first game?
He got injured too?
Yes, in the first game against
Yeah.
Cleveland.
He only played 14 minutes, so yeah.
Yeah, I think the dude from Kansas.
Okay. So, like I said, who are their starting five? Who's their starting five?
Pirtle, Barnes.
You don't know because I don't know either. I know Barnes. I was like, that's it. Like, who else?
Yeah, Barnes, Pirtle, and then after that, if Quickly's not playing against Little Rock, I think because of Quickly's injury, Davion Mitchell played a lot of minutes.
That's right.
So he'll play a lot. But we're talking about a guy that was like struggling to get in the Kings or rotation at one point. So Grady Dick, Davion Mitchell, Pirtle, Barnes. Yeah,
it's a rough team. It's a rough team.
Hey,
don't
lose to this team.
Don't talk it too much because if we lose, it ain't gonna look good, isn't it?
We can't lose to this team. I said we can't lose to this team, and I don't even know who their starting five is going into the game. I had to look and see. I have to watch the game to see who they're starting. I don't know who they'll start. That's all I'm saying. I know the guys on their team. I'm saying I don't know who they're starting. I don't know their starting five.
Yeah.
I know. I've known Davion Mitchell since he was in middle school. He played against my son. Like, I know who these guys are.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking about Toronto. I don't know what they're going to do. So I'm speaking on. Let's look big picture here. We can't be talking about championship and all of this, and then saying we can't beat Toronto. Then what are we going to do when we go to Indiana?
It's gonna be tough
on Sunday. Am I saying something wrong or off?
No. It's a real crazy to say in game 2. It's kind of like must win because I know we struggled without Embiid last year, but this is a team. The additions we made, even without Embiid and George, we should win this game. So I need to see a bounce back.
And so we struggle with without Embiid. Then why would the plan be to not have Joe Embiid more?
We got Drummond.
Just asking. I'm asking for the people behind me, the people in front of me, the people beside me. I'm just asking.
So you guys both have them covering the 5-point spread, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. So then Sunday we have we were traveling to Indiana for the last game of this short little road trip we had before we head back to Philadelphia on Wednesday against the Pistons. There's no line yet for this game, and we've lost the last two to the Pacers.
No, we're not winning. No, we're not winning. No, we're not winning. Whatever the spread is, I'm not taking it.
Hey, Pistons were winning most of that game, by the way, against Indiana. Indiana had to score.
The Pacers is a bad team for us to play with.
Yeah.
Pacers is a bad team for us to play as is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. They're a bad team for us to play.
Yeah, Detroit. They were winning by,
and that'll be their. If I remember looking at the schedule, because I believe the Pacers play New York tonight, so that would be the Pacers' home opener.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're not winning that game.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, Detroit was up by 8 going into fourth quarter.
Yes, and Cade Cunningham. Detroit was playing well, and then the fourth quarter, if you remember, that's one thing that the Pacers did last year was they had a lot of fourth quarter comebacks.
Yeah,
late game or second half comebacks. So because they're deep, and they go to their bench, and some of their bench players are able to kind of help them out a lot. So I would say I might even pick us not to win that game with Joel and Paul. It's just kind of a bad, just playing a team like that in the home opener, full throttle, and some of the injured guys from last year are even back. That I don't even think, if you watch their game, I don't even think they really figured out their rotation because they got guys back that kind of missed the season last year. So
Yeah,
they're still trying to figure it out too. But that experience from last season has helped them at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, they really didn't play a great game, and they still pull out a win. Yeah.
So both of you guys are going to Indiana?
Yeah.
Go Indiana on that one.
Yeah.
Home opener too, man. They're gonna be pumped.
Yeah, situationally, not the best circumstances.
Not good. Yeah. So starting off the season 1-2.
Both games we played. Yeah, both games we played against them last year, they scored 126 plus in every game. So all three with 3 games, they scored 126 in at least each one of them. High-powered offense. All right, guys. Well, that does it for us. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll see you guys on Tuesday as we discuss these 2 games and preview, hopefully, the PG and Embiid debut of the 2024-2025 season next Wednesday. But everyone has a good weekend, and we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, fellas.